Yo, what's up, folks? It's your Manny, Church of Dog, and I was just reflecting recently. I met this dude, and me and somebody else, we've known him for a long time, and he's just kind of always had these kind of seemingly out there beliefs in the way he is, and it's like I was realizing like people don't know what the New Age religion is. I went to college. I went to University of California, Santa Barbara. I got a degree in religious studies, and one of the things I studied there was a New Age religion. And a lot of people would say, well, what is New Age? Well, obviously, when you look at the word New Age, you see, well, that is new and age. So these people, first and foremost, believe that there's a new age or a new era that's going to come, a new way of being in the world, a new type of consciousness. For a while, it was kind of seen as the December 21st, 2012 prophecy. And a lot of people thought, oh, on December 21st, this new era is going to begin. But a lot of the cults that exist that are non-Christian are primarily like New Age cults because they mix together all these different religious traditions, and then they have this belief that, oh, the New Age is going to come. So that, what I just said, brings me to the second point. The New Age, people who are New Agers, they mix and match random pieces and tidbits of religions together. And not just religions, but also indigenous spiritual beliefs and practices. And they kind of mesh them all together without thoroughly understanding what they're actually doing. So, for example, if I went and I actually studied, with a Native American and I learned things and I spent many years, maybe decades, understanding these things, then if I did something that this teacher taught me, it would be with a really deep understanding. But if I just, read a book or saw a video on YouTube or saw somebody doing something at a music festival one day, oh, hi, Mama. Tay, I wanted to come over here. Come on, come on up. Come on, Grandma. Oh, Grandma doesn't want to come up here. I'll show you guys Grandma. There's Grandma. Hi, Grandma. Hi, Granny. She wants to be pet. Oh my God, I'm not gonna pet her right now. So anyways, the New Age religion basically is kind of, just think about those two things: picking and choosing random religions, spiritual belief systems, customs, parts of culture, the things people wear, the plants people use, and then kind of bastardizing all these things. So they take all these things totally out of context. Like, for example, like a New Ager will say, like, I'm very spiritual, I'm studying Buddhism right now. But Buddhism doesn't believe in a spirit. There is no type of Buddhism that believes, at least not that I know of, that believes in a spirit. They would definitely say, does a Buddhist believe in a soul? They would say no soul, no self. Anatta, that was what the Buddha said, no self. So there is no self, so to speak. Or like, New Agers will go and they'll burn sage somewhere, or they'll put feathers in their hats, kind of like a Native American, or they'll bring crystals places and, be using these crystals. A lot of Native Americans, they call them crystal pushers because they see them with these crystals and they push these crystals on other people. They are pushy in the way that they communicate and interact with the world. They don't keep their beliefs inside, but they kind of project these beliefs out and communicate them to other people, which, I think a lot of cultures, deep, cultures that practice a lot of wisdom would say, yeah, you shouldn't be, like some cultures said, yeah, don't even really talk about super mysterious things, especially to people that you don't know. So, a lot of cultures and religious traditions are based a lot on not sharing information with outsiders and reserving certain practices and customs for that particular group of people that's kind of on the inside circle. So when we take these customs and cultures and we take them out of context and we practice them, it's almost like somebody putting on a priest outfit and it's not Halloween, and you didn't go to church, you didn't go to seminary to become a priest, or somebody dressing like a Native American or giving themselves a Native American name, but you weren't ever given that name. You gave it to yourself. You didn't earn that name. You didn't do anything for it. Or somebody, having a sweat lodge ceremony and, performing a sweat lodge, but they're not Native American. And they're doing it based on a Native American ceremony that maybe they saw once or twice. So, but the reason why the New Age religion and spirituality has taken such a hold is because there's a serious spiritual vacuum in the United States. We have to realize that for many years, people didn't have much of a choice of what they were going to believe in terms of religion. Now, people may or may not have bought into it, but for example, when the United States first started, or the first pilgrims came over here, they were Puritans. They were escaping religious persecution. And they all believed in the same type of Christianity. And the early colonies were oftentimes separated because of religious beliefs. There were some people from Britain, they were Presbyterians. There were other people from somewhere else, they were the Puritans. And so there were communities people were living in of certain sects of Christian tradition. And in the 1800s, 1900s, especially in the early 1900s, people started being able to travel the world, going to India and Tibet, and they started coming back to the United States, and they started saying, oh, look, I learned all these things from these yogis, I learned all these things from these gurus, oh, look, there's all these different ways of seeing things, and they definitely were sharing, valid information, but they weren't really sharing anything new. The Native Americans that have been living here and still are living here, had a tremendously deep understanding about the nature of this world and other worlds. And so, the idea that we need to go to India to bring over, not to say there's not a lot of wisdom in Indian religious traditions, but the idea we need to go over there to bring over wisdom is also part of this issue, is the New Agers don't cultivate actual relationships with Native American people, with these cultures and these churches that they follow and that they replicate. Typically, they don't maintain relationships with those people. So, they may be practicing some sort of ceremony, but they're not donating part of that money to the tribe that they learned it from. They're not checking in with indigenous people and making sure, hey, is this okay if I do this? I know you taught me this thing, but is that okay if I share it with other people? So, but, for most of human existence, most of the time in the United States, there wasn't much choice. People were Christian, or Catholic, or Jewish. Those were the options. So in the 1900s, people started bringing these ideas over here, and Zoroastrianism, let's start a Zoroastrian church. And my great-grandma, who actually ended up, we think, committing suicide, she moved out of Colorado to go be in a Zoroastrian, church. So we have to realize, we kind of went from one extreme to the next. We kind of went from extreme of no choice, no freedom to decide, what do I want to believe? What do I want to buy into? And then we go to another extreme of, holy shit, now the whole world's my oyster. There's so many religions to choose from. There's so many traditions to choose from. There's so many people telling me, if I just do this, I'll be happy. If I just do that, I'll be happy. If I just do this, I'll be enlightened. If I just do that, I'll be enlightened. And that's why we're in where we're in right now. With a lot of people either still clinging to traditional beliefs, I don't necessarily in a bad sense, but they're clinging onto these traditional belief systems that have been around for, and I mean Judeo-Christian, Islamic traditions primarily. Religions that emphasize them kind of at their surface, a dualistic sense of the world, good versus evil, right versus wrong, that versus us versus them, God versus the devil, and these systems of belief, I personally think, I don't think these are what the original founders of the religions sought to put forth, but I think this is what people have been able to grasp and this is what people have kind of come to accept as, the main message. But I think all the religions of the world ultimately at their core have the same message, and that's treat other people how you want to be treated, and that God and the universe, or whatever we want to call it, is ultimately a very mysterious thing that we revere because it's mysterious. It's not mysterious because we revere it. It's not amazing because we revere it because we go, oh man, this is crazy. Look at what just happened. I don't know what just happened. That was crazy. This is some force. I just felt a tingling. I just felt something. Whoa. Something miraculous happened. Whoa. So, but that's just my tidbit, is there's a spiritual vacuum. So I want to start making some content to put out there for people that are looking to find an alternative, that maybe they don't want to have traditional Christian beliefs. Maybe they don't want to be in the New Age spiritual whole mumbo jumbo of crystal pushers and just manifest this and manifest that, and everything's going to be fine as long as, you just think positive and, don't worry about people that you don't want to worry about because it forces you to deal with reality. So that's, it's just for me, just to get this information out there and see, who knows, maybe somebody will benefit from hearing an alternative point of view. Okay, thanks folks, that's it. Church of Dog. Taya said thanks for tuning in. Though you did cost her a little bit of petting, I'm going to pet her right now. Come here. Come here. Okay. All right. Okay. You all right? It's the most nervous dog one of the most nervous dogs I've ever met in my life. Oh my God. That just means she needs a lot of attention. Okay, folks, I'll talk to you then. Take care. Bye.